affidavit in paragraph 4 goes on to say the Chancellor spoke up and said that Mrs. Gonzalez wanted to file a complaint against her husband, Sheriff Gonzalez, because of suggested violence she had experienced at her home at the hands of the sheriff. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me to the best that you can recall, Mr. Portis, what were the words that the Chancellor used to describe this to you? Did he say those words there?
Yes.
Okay. What did you understand by suggested violence? What does that mean?
Well, it has to come from her. It has to come from the victim complaining. And for him saying it, then she again repeated it. She, meaning Mrs. Gonzalez, I want to file a complaint on my husband for domestic abuse at home.
Okay, I'm not following you, Mr. Portis. Are you saying that Dr. Gonzalez did use those words, or
He said it first,
okay?
then Dr. Gonzalez said it. Because it was informed to him by me, it has to come from her.
I'm sorry, sir. I just didn't catch that.
I let him know it has to come from her. If it's her filing the complaint, it has to come from her. I can't get it from him.
Okay. And according to your affidavit, he said that she wanted to file it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he wasn't doing anything wrong, was he? Telling you that she wanted to file a complaint, right?
Well, it has to come from her from our standpoint.
Okay.
From his standpoint, he don't know. He's hearsay secondhand. So we don't want to take what he's saying. And you take what he's saying and he's not there, how do you know it's actual?
Okay, well, he didn't provide you with any information about what the abuse was, did he?
No.
Okay. So after he said, according to you...
It's domestic violence. He said that.
Yeah, that's a phrase, though. That doesn't describe the
if you say that to an officer, if you're saying any form of violence, that's going to make anybody's ears go up, especially with a woman.
Okay, so you said, sir, I need to hear it from her, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a yes?
Yes.
Okay, and then what did she say to you?
She then repeated it.
And what were the words she said?
I would like to file a complaint against my husband for violence and at home.
Okay. You then say you asked Chancellor Maldonado to leave the room while we interviewed the complainant. We, meaning you and Sergeant Moore, correct?
At that time, Moore hadn't arrived yet, but he later arrived to clarify.
Okay. So at the time, though, in this paragraph where you're talking to Dr. Gonzalez and the Chancellor, Moore wasn't there yet?
No.
Okay. So we interviewed her, that's not correct. You meant you interviewed her.
Well, he interviewed her later.
Okay. I'm not talking about later, sir. I'm talking about right there at that moment.
Okay.
There was no we, was there?
And I understand that. There was a we, and this is how I wrote it, and I swore to it, and I'm here, and I'll stand by.
Okay. And what I'm telling you is the we here really should have been I, while I interviewed her. Is that correct, sir? Is that correct?
I stand by what I wrote.
Okay. So what you wrote was in error because he wasn't there yet, correct?
I stand by what I wrote.
Okay. You say the Chancellor refused to leave the room and said he insisted on staying in the room. Is that what happened?
Yes.
What were the words he used, sir, to express to you that he was refusing to leave his own office?
At that time, doing any interview, you want to kind of get the person one-on-one. For an example, what happened, I said, well, if you don't mind, can you leave? Or can you step out while I talk to her? And he said, no, I can stay. I didn't want a power struggle. I didn't. At that point, I asked him again. And when he barked out, you know, you do know I'm your boss or some to that degree, or I just, okay. You know, I'm, from where I sit, he is the chancellor. He's the big guy on campus. Yes, I am an officer, but with that comment, I was kind of what to do, and it intimidated me. So when Moore shows up, I said, Moore, there's domestic violence in the household. The woman wants to talk. The chancellor's kind of trying to bogart it. And I left.
Trying to bogart it?
He's interfering with an investigation. That's what he actually did. By him not leaving. Me being a sworn peace officer, if I say, sir, can you please leave? And you say, no, you're really interfering. But him being a chancellor, it being HCC, if I do my job, sometimes there's a double standard. And that's just fact.
Objection, non-responsive. You say in your affidavit, citing to police policy and protocol, I insisted the chancellor leave the interrogation, and he again refused. So tell me about that, sir. Did you say to Chancellor Maldonado, Dr. Maldonado, HCC PD procedure XXX requires me to interview them separately. I need you to leave the room. Did you say something like that to him?
No.
Okay. Did you cite to police policy and protocol to him at all?
No.
So did you ever consider, sir, asking Dr. Gonzalez to simply walk outside the room to interview her?
I did not.
Why not?
I didn't. I asked him. She's a victim complaining.
Okay, I'm just asking.
And yeah, I'm clarifying. She's a victim complaining. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible on her.
Okay.
And like I say, in my shoes, my little measly check of where I'm at, like I say, he kind of threw me off my game because I did not expect that bite back. I'm thinking he'll be like, okay, all right, but I didn't get that. I didn't.